Call tonight's meeting of the Lower Country Township Board of Commissioners to order. Could we all please stand for a pledge of allegiance to the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. For the roll call this evening, we have Commissioner Shoemaker, who is absent. And our township engineer, Mr. McAdam, is joining us through Zoom. There are no agenda modifications this evening, no announcements and presentations. So we'll move to item number 6.1, consideration of a sewer planning module for the subdivision plan of Paul Stepniak located at 2072 Elbow Lane. Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir. So Paul Stepniak of Lehigh Valley Customs Homes purchased a lot next to Mountain View Estates, which is the other subdivision that he did right off of Elbow Lane. It creates 2 new habitable lots for new residences. This is just belt and suspenders for the sewer planning module for the residents there.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item 7, public comment on non-agenda topics. Sir, if you would want to come up here to the podium. We just ask you to write your name and address up there, and then the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm here just to talk about the 4 old tennis courts in this complex that are turning into 8 pickleball courts.
Yes.
I just want to plead that you should keep 1 for tennis. I have been playing on this course for like 20 years, and my best knowledge, I tried very hard. I played like twice a week, at least. I used to play 3 times a week here. And I can hardly remember any instance that somebody would be waiting for the courts for pickleball. But instead, we have I moved here 2004, and my tennis partner moved here 2000. We have been playing on this course for like 20 years. And he played more, and our kids also played on this course. And we used to have friends also play on this course, but the conditions became worse over the years, so they had to leave for other courses. And we were very happy to see people coming. First, you turn 1 of the 4 courts to a ski board, and then the kids playing there. And we have 2 old courts that are now shared, used to be shared between tennis and pickleball. And I was happy, everybody was happy. The more people enjoying the place, the better. And the other day, my partner and I, we saw workers starting to work on the courts. We were very happy. We saw that they would fix the courts. The courts were in bad conditions. And we did not even know the other day, several days ago, we came here to check the condition of the course or the progress of the project. And a passing by lady told us they would all be turned into pickleball course. We were very surprised. There were no public signs. Nobody has asked us for opinions. Nobody has asked for feedback from us. What's the point? That's my main concern. And besides, it's not like I do not want other people to play on this course. I'm just saying that you turn into 8 course, it's overkill, and you drive all tennis players out. And for us, for me and my partner, we have been living here for so long. We pay so much taxes here, right? And these tennis courts are probably the only thing we use beyond garbage, the regular stuff, right? No, why should you just drive us out? There's no need to do that. No.
Well, we appreciate your comments. I know that you've spoken to Bruce or Renee already,
Okay.
and they've informed you that, there are dozens of other courts in this township to play tennis. One of the main reasons that pickleball is being put here
Yeah.
is the demand for it is gigantic. Number two, we cannot put them in tennis courts in neighborhoods because of the noise. It's our number one complaint. We have pickleball courts in one of our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
The number one complaint we get is the noise from pickleball. So we're trying to meet the needs of everybody at the same time. Now, what I would tell you is that they were discussed at several public meetings.
Okay.
We have 3 meetings a month like this one, 2 that are like this, and then 1 that's a workshop where we go through everything in detail.
Mhm.
You can see them online.
Mhm.
You can, view them on our website. Everything we do here, we do in a public forum before we make those decisions. And I understand your disappointment completely, and we're not trying to drive you away. The other thing that I'll point out, and this is important, not just for you, but for people who are watching.
Yeah.
We always get a lot of times, we pay so much in taxes that you're taking things away. In reality, through the township of Lower Macungie, you pay very, very little. The school district, yes, you pay a lot of taxes. The county, you pay a lot of taxes. Here, I think the largest property tax bill in the township is maybe for residents like somewhere in the $500 a year range. So, we try to do our best on what little we have, but we appreciate you coming out and voicing your concern. I would just encourage you to stay involved, like through the website, or, we do posties. We have the monthly or the quarterly newsletter that goes out. And I am sorry that we changed your favorite court, but hopefully you'll find another one that will meet your needs.
Okay, maybe it's too late. Now it's my fault. I should have paid more attention to this, right? But now, if it is too late, now it is a comment. If it is not too late, it's a plea. But I want to say that now I have tennis friends here. Sure. After they leave this court, none of them has gone to any Lower Macungie court. It says something, whether the courts you say, and also she said also to me that, oh, there are so many choices. No, in practice, there aren't. The courts are really bad. I'm not a very good player, tennis player, but I cannot play on those courts, and nobody can play. Almost nobody can play on those courts. And the people who have left this court, they went to the high school, which is out of Lower Macungie.
Yep.
They went to there's a far away court. It's famous called Lindenberg Park.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Lindenberg Park, right? And after she told me that there are other courts, I went to during the past several days to check them out, because other courts I knew, I had impression they were so bad that you cannot play on them. This particular 2 I went there, and one of them is okay, but the other one is really bad. The ground is not flat.
Okay.
So the point is that I totally understand, and maybe my one voice cannot change your current plan. I understand, and all the things are already done. But I just want to let you know, you said that there's so much demand for pickleball, right? I'm not sure if you have been really on the ground to see the situation. I was there. I played on weekends, right? And which is supposed to be the most popular time for any pickleball playing, right? Unlimited people. But no, you don't take my words. Let's see what happens to this court after you have 8. But my main point is that there's no need to drive out all tennis players away from this particular place. It is good. The more people enjoying this place, the better, the merrier. We're all happy, right? We all live in the same community. We should think of other people, but there's no need to drive out all tennis players. That's all.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving forward, item 8.1, communication, Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. Just wanted to let the board know, we received our certification renewal for our Workplace Safety Committee. I want to thank the staff on the committee as well as Kim Molnar, who heads up that and gets the certification.
Excellent. Congratulations. There are no appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions this evening. Item number 10.1, approval of the September 7th, 2023 minutes will be considered at the October 5th meeting. Okay. Item 11.1, approvals of transfers, bill list, and payroll. Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. We have the following for your consideration this evening. The general fund, $263,599.22. The sewer fund, $88.50. The payroll, $163,489.95. Developer escrow, $310,487.93. For a total of all funds, $737,665.60.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and as always, I like to point out that our entire bill list is located on our website for any and all to peruse at their leisure. Okay, moving on to item 12, departmental matters and reports. 12.1, engineering, Mr. McAdam.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing to report tonight. We had distributed our monthly report. Most of everything is in there. Outside of that, nothing noteworthy.
Okay, any questions for the engineer? Item 12.2.1, under planning, authorization to draft an ordinance amending the official map. Mr. Jones.
Yes, members of the board, this is an item that we've been discussing at the planning commission level as well. As everyone knows, the township has acquired some properties over the past several years for preservation purposes, and some of our infrastructure projects that have been noted on our official map, such as the Sauerkraut Lane project, are starting to come to fruition. So we wanted to take this opportunity to update the official map to, one, show the progress that's been made on properties that have been preserved and infrastructure projects that we have completed or in the process of completing. But we also wanted to look ahead. As everybody is aware, we do have a mandate from the voters in terms of continued land preservation efforts. And so we do have a draft version here of the official map that we would hope that everyone can get behind. What you're looking at, the blue cross hatched properties are potential properties for consideration on this official map for us to, as a municipality, consider acquiring preservation rights to in the future if we're so interested. And I'll note, yes, there are a number of them on there, but that's because we wanted to give both the public and the board the opportunity to consider numerous properties. It doesn't mean that the township would have to acquire all of them. It just means that you have the option to consider. And obviously, we're looking at high quality wooded areas, high quality agricultural fields. And then another thing that we've been looking at is also stormwater significance, given some of the flooding and flood mitigation efforts that we've been trying to achieve over the last several years here. So we will have an ordinance in front of you shortly, but this is a draft version of the map that we'd like to take to our planning partners, the LVPC, and hopefully adopt before the end of the year.
Move to approve.
Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Yes, Julie. Is the map posted online? The current map?
Will be the current map is online.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes. And then this one will be advertised for the MPC like we
Right.
always do. So.
Okay,
Motion and second.
we have a motion and a second.
Actually, Mr. President, it's a motion to authorize a solicitor to draft an order.
Correct.
Right.
So this is a motion to authorize the solicitor to draft an ordinance amending the official map. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 12.2.2, authorization to draft an ordinance, authorization for the solicitor to draft an ordinance amending chapter 27A stormwater management. Mr.
Similar,
Jones.
yeah, similar to what we just talked about with the official map, we've identified some very well, I don't want to say concerning, but some emergent issues with respect to our zoning ordinance. And both the township engineer and myself are recommending to the board that we consider some text amendments to 27A for stormwater. It has to do with infrastructure within the floodplain. As everybody knows, the last several years, we've had a couple of very large events here. We've seen roadway and stormwater infrastructure greatly impacted by some of these flooding events. So this would be an ordinance so that for future developments, such infrastructure is outside of the flood zone.
Okay,
Move to approve.
we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Are there any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything else, Mr. Jones?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Okay.
I got a
Oh, yeah.
question. Hey, when I was reading over the agenda, Nate, what you had said the last couple of years, seen tonight, less than an acre lot being subdivided into 3 parcels. You had predicted that. I think you called them infill lots. And it appears like it's coming at us. So, and there's a lot of 1 acre lots. But,
Yeah.
anyway, when we talked about it years ago, we didn't think it would happen. But
That's
it
all
is.
that's left.
You know, it's less than a third of an acre. They are small lots.
Well, in the suburban zone, the minimum lot size is 12,000 square feet.
12,000,
That's
what's 4,000 is acre.
Well,
quarter an acre,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
A little more than
That's,
quarter.
A little better than a quarter of an acre.
Yep.
It's just something that we continue to monitor closely. Again, as larger development lots are less plentiful in the township, we will likely see continued desire for minor subdivisions on other lots that could potentially have more residential use put on it. So it's something for us to keep in mind as we look at our ordinances moving forward. But yeah, it's not uncommon. It's something that we kind of figured would be coming this way, and it's starting to creep in. So if the board's interested in us looking at the issue further, happy to do so.
Oh, I ain't against it. I'm just saying, you predicted this. So a lot of village centers coming. With it equals to be. East Texas, a lot of them lots are 1/3 of it. So there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, moving on, 12.3, Solicitor Bruman.
The 2 ordinances that you just authorized, they'll be in front of you on Monday. So we'll get those done. I don't have anything other than that.
Any questions for the solicitor? Okay, Township Manager, Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. Just a reminder of the workshop meeting Monday. We will have a fairly lengthy agenda to discuss some things, including yard waste and potential impacts of the future garbage bills that we may see next year. So we want to get that word out to the public, as well as some things about recreational facilities. So, and then also a reminder, as we see below in the agenda, we have multiple budget meetings in October for the public to hear about the budget and projects. That's all I have unless there's questions.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Beidle?
I got one.
Yes.
For the workshop Monday, well, this is the right time. I'd like to discuss the Pratchett Farm project. That plan, that master plan, been around for 10 years, and for the past 2-3 years. Next year is the year where we're going to start something there. I believe from previous discussion, President Higgins, maybe you can confirm. We're going to start with the parking lot and the walking path and access to
The pond.
fishing hole.
That was the last. I don't know. I haven't seen the first draft of the budget, if any of that's in there for next year or
But
not.
we have this. I don't know if
Yeah,
we
no,
still have this. whoever needs one, I'm sure Bruce can get you.
Yeah.
And, as far as and it has the prices in here for everything, but as far as the parking lot and the paths, we're calling for, Cadam.
Mhm.
But there's many parking lots throughout the valley that are stone. And there's walking paths, the trails to rails, which is, screenings. And I know Public Works was pushing for the track loader a few years ago. That was one of their pushing points. We can use that to put trails in.
Yep.
You know, when I said we had a good track machine, it wasn't a track loader. And I believe, Stan said, well, this could be used to cut trails. So I'm only mentioning all this because of budget,
Yep, absolutely.
because of money, but
Bruce, is there anything from Kratzer Farms in the preliminary budget at this point?
I'm working to try to get something in the capital side. We're about 2.3 million on just maintenance of regular items on the $1.3 million capital budget. So we have numerous requests, including this one, as well as equipment for Public Works and street paving, which I haven't found in the budget yet at this point, but it's on our list, trying to work through some things.
I mean, and I want to say this in the right way. There's going to come a time where we can't keep buying equipment for Public Works. I feel like we spend a ton of money on Public Works when we have things that probably could go a little bit longer than they do. It's kind of like it's more than Public Works. There are other times where we turn things over pretty quickly because we can, but if we keep spending money on that type of equipment and maintenance, nothing else gets done.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're seeing potentially in this year's budget, as will be before the board. That no equipment type item, plus no fog seal out of the capital budget to lean more on the liquid fuels side. The playground at Wild Cherry, which was looking at replacement, is around 500, and then the federal mandated stormwater MS4 requirements, our estimates are 500. So that's $1 million of the 1.3 monies. And now we're trying to figure out what we can go. The interesting part about it would be a good discussion, as the board can give us some direction on policy. You can use some of the open space funding, right, for improvements and maintenance. And if the board would be willing to choose to direct some of those monies, that definitely leads to improvements on
Right.
parks and pathways and things of that nature. However, the board would need to decide if you want that just for land, for potential land purchases,
Or
or to
both.
move forward with that. So that's going to be an interesting feedback that we can get.
And we
Well-
also need to understand what lands qualify for that money to be used on, because it's not just any park. I think when we were authorizing it, there were some limitations as to where and when it can be.
We'll have the solicitor's office check, but as I understand it, it's been replenished for any open space.
Okay.
one more comment.
Yes.
You know, repeating myself, the driver for that track machine was cut paths in, and it would just be nice to cut one in before we wear it out. And I'm just curious, do you know how many hours are on that? I'd just be curious. It's not that old. You remember how old it was? It was in the budget for a new one when you were pushing for it. There was a track, we only had one track loader, correct? Right, but it was the track. Bob. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Excellent. Is there any old business this evening? Any new business? Item 14, Board of Commissioner reports. Just to reiterate what Mr. Beidle has already covered. The next board workshop is September 25th, 2023 at 6 p.m. That's this coming Monday. The next regular board business meeting is October 5th, 2023 at 6 p.m. And our budget workshop meetings will be held on October 12th and October 16th. and if needed, October 23rd at 6 PM. There was no executive session tonight, and with that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, all.